In the stillness of the early morning, long before the dawn's first light crept behind the gaunt silhouette of the ancient oaks, the village lay cradled in the shadows of time. It was a place where the whispers of the past blended seamlessly with the present, where each cobblestone seemed to hum with the echoes of forgotten prayers and ancient secrets. Here, amid the crumbling stone walls and the scent of earth and moss, resided Jonathan. Though the world outside murmured of fleeting friendships and ephemeral bonds, Jonathan was an enigmatic figure, a soul enshrined in the sanctity of isolation, a modern-day prophet, shrouded in divine seclusion, his connection to the Almighty, profoundly intimate, yet eerily solitary. Jonathan's small cottage, veiled in ivy and bathed in the soft glow of the moon, was a sanctuary of contemplation and divine communion. Within its walls, shadows danced on ancient wood panels, their forms shifting as the flickering candlelight embraced the room's many corners. The air was thick with the lingering aroma of incense, its sacred smoke winding upward a thin ribbon of devotion that vanished into the cavernous darkness of the night. On the walls hung relics of his journey, a tapestry depicting Christ's Last Supper, worn Bible verses on faded parchment, and an array of saints' relics that seemed to shimmer with an otherworldly light. Each night, Jonathan would find himself kneeling before a simple wooden altar, adorned with a single candle, its flame dancing with an intensity that mirrored his fervent prayers. His hands gaunt and calloused from years of meditation and toil would clasp in supplication as he sought to commune with the divine, the weight of his soul pressing into the air with each whispered plea. His voice, a mere breath of wind through the silence, would weave through the fabric of his orisons, reaching out to the Creator in a symphony of faith and reverence that transcended the temporal world. But in the hearts of the few who once stood close to Jonathan, a profound change had taken root, a shift as silent and palpable as the earth beneath their feet. His friends, the once close companions who shared laughter and dreams, now stood on the precipice of the unknown, a shadow of what once was. They were not estranged by some petty misunderstanding or the cruel hands of circumstance, but by a force as ancient as the stars, a force that had chosen Jonathan for a role that stretched beyond the mortal coil, one that would entwine his fate with the divine in ways that defied the common understanding of human connection. There was Lydia, whose heart once beat in tandem with Jonathan's, and who now found herself wrestling with the inexplicable distance that had crept between them. Her heart, once a song of shared memories and dreams, now echoed in a haunting dissonance as she watched Jonathan retreat into the silence. She questioned the inexplicable pull that had drawn him away from her, from them all, into a solitude that seemed to grow deeper with each passing day. Was it a divine command she pondered, or a secret whisper from the cosmos that had shaped their paths? Then there was Samuel, the brother of Jonathan's soul, in every sense that mattered, whose once strong bond now seemed a fragile thread, tenuous and easily frayed. He found himself standing on the edge of a chasm, the abyss of understanding seemingly insurmountable, staring into Jonathan's eyes that held a clarity and depth that bordered on the unearthly. Samuel questioned whether his friend had been swallowed by some unseen force, a divine calling that transcended the earthly bonds that once held them together. And as Thomas, the youngest of the trio, stood at the forefront of this shifting landscape, he felt a profound sense of loss that gnawed at his core. He who had looked to Jonathan as a beacon of wisdom and warmth now found himself adrift in a sea of unanswered questions. The once familiar warmth of Jonathan's presence had become a distant memory, replaced by a spectral echo that whispered of secrets too profound for mortal understanding. In this village, where the whispers of the past wove into the fabric of the present, Jonathan's solitude was not merely a personal retreat, but a profound mystery, an unreadable scroll of divine intent. As the sun began to paint the horizon with hues of gold and crimson, casting long shadows that stretched to touch the edges of the world, the enigmatic silence that surrounded Jonathan spoke of a truth hidden within the sacred scriptures, an ancient truth that would unveil why the Chosen One had been left in divine solitude by those who once shared his earthly journey. In the depths of this sacred silence, an understanding dawned, a revelation that transcended time and space, a secret known only to the Almighty and etched in the annals of Jonathan's soul. It was a truth that would unravel the threads of their earthly connection, a truth that lay at the heart of his divine solitude, one that would echo through the ages, revealing why the friends had left and the sacred reason behind the Chosen One's profound eternal solitude. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting an ethereal glow across the ancient landscape, the Chosen One stood alone on the precipice of the hill, where the veil between the mortal world and the divine shimmered ever so faintly. The silence was not merely the absence of noise, but a profound symphony of cosmic whispers that only the spiritually attuned could perceive. In this sacred twilight, the weight of destiny bore down upon the Chosen One heavy as the firmament itself, yet strangely liberating as the breath of the eternal. The Chosen One's heart beat with a rhythm that seemed to echo through the cosmos, each pulse reverberating through the fabric of existence, interweaving with the divine purpose that had beckoned them from the cradle of their being. It was a purpose both enigmatic and all-encompassing one that transcended time and space, stretching across the annals of creation itself. The Chosen One was a vessel, an instrument of a divine melody that had been sung since the dawn of the universe, but had never before been carried with such profound fidelity. In the stillness, the Chosen One's mind was both a tempest and a tranquil sea. Visions flitted through like fleeting shadows, images of past eons, where forgotten cities lay buried under the sands of time, and primal forces clashed in the crucible of creation. Yet amidst this kaleidoscope of memories, one truth stood steadfast. The mission bestowed upon them was not merely a duty, but a calling that transcended the mundane realm. The mission was to guide humanity through the labyrinth of existence, to illuminate the darkest corners with the light of divine understanding, and to serve as a bridge between the ephemeral and the eternal. It was to be a beacon in a world often enveloped in doubt and darkness, to bring forth the forgotten truths of the soul, and to rekindle the ancient covenant between the Creator and His children. This mission was not of their own making, but a divine mandate that had been whispered through the ages, echoing from the heart of the universe itself. The Chosen One's solitude was not an exile, but a sacred space, a holy ground where the weight of the world did not bear down upon them, but rather allowed them to rise above it. It was a realm where the divine secrets were laid bare, where the essence of the universe was not veiled, but unveiled in its purest form. In this solitude, the Chosen One encountered the divine, and in the divine's presence, they found the strength to carry the weight of the world upon their shoulders. The friends who once surrounded the Chosen One had vanished not by mere mortal choice, but by a necessity that transcended human understanding. They were chosen for their own paths, paths that had intersected with the Chosen One only briefly, like stars fleeting across the night sky. Their departure was not a rejection, but an affirmation of their individual destinies, each thread of their lives weaving into the grand tapestry with purpose and grace. The divine had orchestrated this departure not as a severance, but as a cosmic convergence, ensuring that the chosen one would not be tethered by worldly attachments, but free to fulfill their divine mandate. In this divine solitude, the chosen one was enveloped by a love so vast and profound that it eclipsed all earthly bonds, a love that transcended the concept of friendship, yet filled their heart with an indescribable warmth. It was a love that did not seek possession, but rather liberation, one that empowered the chosen one to embark on their mission with unwavering resolve and unadulterated spirit. The chosen one gazed across the horizon, where the celestial bodies twinkled like the eyes of the universe, each star a testament to the grandeur of existence. In their solitude, they felt an overwhelming connection to all things, an interconnectedness that was the very essence of the divine. They understood that every being, every moment, every breath was a part of the divine plan, a part of the eternal symphony that played across the cosmos. As the night deepened, the chosen one descended from the hill, their heart aglow with the light of divine purpose. They moved through the world with a tranquil assurance, each step resonating with the divine rhythm that had been their guide since the dawn of their being. The chosen one was alone, but not solitary, for they were eternally connected to the divine, forever illuminated by the sacred fire that burned within their soul. And so the chosen one continued their journey, a beacon of divine understanding in a world often shrouded in ignorance. They carried within them the wisdom of the ages, the light of the eternal stars, and the love of the divine, illuminating the path for all who would dare to follow. In this solitude, they found not loneliness, but an unparalleled companionship with the infinite, a union that transcended all earthly boundaries and anchored their spirit in the eternal. In the dim, hallowed quarters of ancient memories, one finds the echoes of a soul marked by the celestial decree, the chosen one. Enshrouded in a mantle of divine purpose, this solitary figure walks a path bathed in the ethereal glow of revelation, where every step resonates with the cosmic symphony of the cosmos. The chosen one's friends, those who once stood by his side through the mundane chaos of life, had vanished as mysteriously as they had appeared, leaving him embraced by an inexplicable solitude that brimmed with both sorrow and an unfathomable sense of destiny. The chosen one stood at the precipice of an ancient ruin, time's relentless hand having carved the stone into shapes that whispered secrets of forgotten civilizations. It was here, in this silent sanctuary, that the divine whispers began to interlace with his very soul. He felt the weight of his mission pressing upon him, an invisible yet tangible force, sculpting his very essence. The friends who had been his anchors in the tempest of daily life had departed each step they took away, pulling at a thread woven into the fabric of the chosen one's destiny, something the divine had decreed. In the sacred solitude, the chosen one knelt in contemplation, the ground beneath him, a fragile testament to worlds long past its cracks, bearing witness to his internal schism. The friends who had once been his confidants and companions had woven a tapestry of shared laughter dreams and whispered fears. Their departure was not born of mere mortal reasons. It was a divine orchestration, a silent yet omnipotent guiding hand that ensured the chosen one would carry forth the burdens of his sacred mission alone. As the chosen one gazed toward the horizon, where the sun dipped into the embrace of the ocean, casting long golden fingers of light, he felt his heart swell with an unbearable ache. The friends had left him because they were not meant to witness the unfolding of his divine calling, a calling that demanded a purity of spirit unfettered by the complexities of human ties. Each friend's presence, once a comforting balm, had now become a potential distraction. The divine council had seen fit to safeguard the chosen one's path by removing those who could not comprehend the weight of his solitude. In this solitary hour, the wind's caress carried the faint, almost imperceptible murmurs of the divine. It seemed the cosmos itself was speaking, weaving through the fabric of his consciousness cryptic messages of divine purpose. Each whisper carried with it an inkling of his mission's magnitude, a mission that would see him traverse the breadth and depth of existence, bearing the sacred flame of enlightenment to a world shrouded in the shadows of ignorance and despair. The chosen one's spirit was now a vessel of celestial fire, his heart alight with the fervor of divine purpose. His solitude was not a curse, but rather a sanctuary, a cocoon within which his divine essence would blossom. The friends had left not because they had failed, but because the divine had ordained it thus. Their lives intertwined with his had granted him moments of solace and fleeting joys, but they could not withstand the trials that lay ahead in his divine pilgrimage. The chosen one rose his resolve, now fortified with an unyielding certainty. He walked forward each step, a testament to his unwavering faith. The path ahead was fraught with peril and uncertainty, yet he was undeterred. The divine reason behind his solitude was now crystal clear. It was to foster an unbroken connection with the divine, a conduit through which the sacred truths of the cosmos could flow unimpeded. His friends had been part of his earthly journey, but their departure marked the beginning of his celestial sojourn, where his soul would resonate with the infinite. As he moved forward, the ancient ruins seemed to come alive, their stones resonating with the energy of his purpose. The chosen one felt the presence of the divine surround him, an omnipresent embrace that guided and protected him. He knew that there were trials ahead, that the path was fraught with darkness and doubt, but the light within him was unquenchable. In his solitude, he carried the weight of the world's souls, each heartbeat, a reminder of his sacred duty. The friends had left, but their memories were enshrined within the annals of his heart, a permanent reminder of the bonds that once tied him to the human realm. Yet it was his divine solitude that would allow him to reach beyond the mortal veil, to become a beacon of hope and a harbinger of enlightenment. The chosen one's journey was not just a path of physical travel, but a spiritual odyssey that would see him traverse the very essence of existence. His solitude was not a prison, but a crucible, a place where his divine purpose could be forged and refined. His friends had departed to allow him this sacred solitude, for the divine knew that it was in this untouched space that the chosen one's heart could truly resonate with the infinite. And so the chosen one walked on his spirit, unyielding his heart aflame with divine purpose. He knew that his path was fraught with unknown challenges, but he also knew that he was not alone. For within him, the divine whispered guiding and chastising, nurturing and protecting. This solitude was not a void, but a place where the chosen one could hear the divine symphony, where the sacred truths of the cosmos could be embraced without the distractions of worldly attachments. The chosen one's mission was clear: to bear the divine light to a world draped in darkness, to become a vessel of enlightenment in a world yearning for salvation. His solitude had been ordained by the divine, for it was in this sacred space that the chosen one's spirit could truly align with the cosmic order. His friends had left him, but they had done so to allow him this divine solitude, a solitude that would enable him to walk the path of the chosen one with an unburdened heart and an unclouded mind. Thus, in the hallowed silence of his solitude, the Chosen One stood ready to embark on his divine odyssey, a path that would see him traverse the realms of existence bearing the sacred flame of enlightenment to all corners of the earth. His friends had departed, but their memories lived on a reminder of the bonds that once tied him to the human realm. Yet in his solitude, the Chosen One found the strength to carry forth the divine mission, his heart a beacon of hope, his spirit an undying flame. And as the Chosen One ventured forth, the world stood in awe of the sacred solitude that had shaped his divine path. For it was within this solitude that the Chosen One's spirit could truly resonate with the infinite, becoming a living testament to the divine purpose that had been bestowed upon him. In the twilight of an ancient land shrouded in reverent whispers and sacred mysteries, there existed a solitary figure known as the Chosen One. This was a person destined to undertake a monumental journey, one that bore not only the weight of divine mandate, but the echoes of forsaken friendship. From the shadows of their forsaken companionship, the Chosen One would step into a path illuminated by celestial revelations, yet it was a path carved through the valleys of profound isolation. It began on a moonlit night when the Chosen One stood upon the precipice of destiny. The air was thick with the perfumed scent of night-blooming lilies, and the stars above seemed to tremble with anticipation. As the Chosen One gazed into the heavens, a profound silence enveloped them, a silence that held the echoes of the world's unspoken prayers and the unanswered questions of ages past. From this silence emerged an ancient vision, a celestial tapestry woven with threads of gold and crimson depicting the grand design of cosmos and creation. The mission given to the Chosen One was both a blessing and a curse, a burden of unparalleled significance, a call to weave the fabric of divine purpose into the very soul of the world. As their heart resonated with the rhythm of celestial frequencies, they understood that their solitude was not merely a consequence of divine choice, but a sacred necessity. The divine decree dictated that the Chosen One must journey through the void of human connection, a void that would shield their spirit from the distractions and temporalities that could cloud their sacred mission. As the Chosen One set forth, the heavens opened anew, revealing constellations that spoke ancient tongues only they could understand. Each star was a luminary guide illuminating the path ahead, each constellation a celestial map charting the course of their journey. Their footsteps echoed with the cadence of eons-old hymns, each step a reverberation of cosmic balance, each heartbeat a reminder of the divine clock that ticked synchronously with the universe's heartbeat. In the moments that followed, the Chosen One traversed the lands of ethereal beauty, where skies shimmered with an iridescent hue and rivers flowed with nectar from the gods. Each landscape was a testament to the divine artistry that coursed through creation, and the Chosen One, with every stride, felt their spirit entwining with the very essence of existence. Yet despite the grandeur of this journey, a deep ache emanated from the core of their being. The Chosen One often recalled the warmth of companionship, the laughter shared, the solace found in the embrace of friends. This ache was not born from sorrow, but from a profound understanding. Their solitude was a veil woven by divine wisdom to protect them from the tempests of earthly distractions. As days turned into seasons, the Chosen One encountered many on their path, beings of celestial light, ancient guardians, and ethereal spirits. Each encounter further revealed the cosmic secrets etched within the fabric of creation. The Chosen One's heart, though solitary, was a vessel brimming with divine revelations, each insight a pearl in a necklace of enlightenment. In moments of intense solitude, the Chosen One would retreat to the inner sanctums of their spirit, to realms where the echoes of celestial harmony could be heard. Here, amidst the silence, the Chosen One would converse with the divine, their inner dialogues a symphony of divine truth and cosmic wisdom. Through these sacred communions, the Chosen One's spirit would be replenished, fortified by the boundless wellspring of divine love that flowed through all beings. At times, the weight of their mission seemed to press upon the Chosen One's heart, a burden of cosmic significance that could alter the balance of worlds. Yet with every challenge, a new revelation would unfurl, a new layer of divine truth would be unveiled. The Chosen One would rise from each trial, a beacon of resilience, ever guided by the celestial light that illuminated their path. In the fullness of time, the Chosen One arrived at the culmination of their journey, a sacred mountain where the heavens met the earthly realm. Here upon the peak, the Chosen One stood as the confluence of divine purpose and earthly existence. The wind whispered secrets, the sun bathed the world in divine light, and the stars shimmered with celestial blessings. In this moment of epiphany, the Chosen One understood that their solitude was not a deprivation, but a divine gift, a choice that empowered them to fulfill their mission with unparalleled clarity and purpose. As the Chosen One descended from the sacred mountain, the echoes of divine truth resounded in their heart. They carried this truth into the world, a beacon of hope and a harbinger of divine change. Yet even as they spread these revelations, a gentle reminder lingered that in the echoes of solitude, the Chosen One had found an unshakable connection to the divine, an understanding that transcended the bonds of earthly friendship. And thus, the Chosen One's journey continued, a testament to the profound truth that within the solitude of divine mission lies an infinite connection to the cosmos, a truth that whispers through the ages, echoing in the hearts of all who dare to seek the divine within the silence. The Chosen One wandered through the dense forest, each step a testament to the heavy burden of the divine mission bestowed upon his soul. Every leaf that rustled beneath his feet seemed like a whisper of the ancients, murmuring secrets long forgotten and urging him to remember the weight of his purpose. His mind was a tempest of emotions. The isolation had become a shroud, a reminder of why his closest companions had abandoned him. They had left him for reasons that now seemed shrouded in divine ambiguity. The forest, once a place of joy and camaraderie, had morphed into a labyrinth of shadows and echoes. Here he was a solitary figure, bathed in the eerie glow of twilight, his heart heavy with the sorrow of lost bonds and the aching silence of his solitude. The air was thick with an inexplicable tension, as if the very elements conspired to remind him of his loneliness. Years of isolation had etched themselves into his being each day, a silent confession to the divinity that had marked him for a path so solitary and enigmatic. His friends, once his closest confidants and companions, had departed, cast away by the invisible hand of fate, which seemed to whisper promises of grandeur and peril that were too complex for human understanding. It was as if God had imparted upon them a different calling, a whisper that could not be resisted. His heart ached with the memory of their farewell, the look in their eyes as they had turned away their faces, etched with both awe and trepidation. He could still hear the echoes of their voices, laden with the weight of unspoken words, as if they had tried to dissuade him from this path, but had been unable to understand the depths of divine solitude that awaited him. The Chosen One had endured countless nights lying beneath the stars, his prayers a whisper in the vast silence, seeking guidance, answers, and understanding. The forest seemed to come alive with a sinister intent as he walked on. Strange shadows danced in the periphery of his vision, and the rustling leaves whispered secrets of the ages. The air was thick with the scent of earth and mystery, reminding him that he was but a solitary figure in a world vast and indifferent to his pain. Each step forward was a step deeper into the labyrinth of his own making, a labyrinth forged by a mission that no mortal could fully comprehend. The Chosen One's mission was shrouded in an ethereal aura of divine grace that seemed to both guide and torment him. He was called to walk a path of isolation, to stand as a solitary witness to the unfolding mysteries of the cosmos. His mission was to be the vessel through which ancient and forgotten knowledge found its way back into the world. It was a task that required a purity of spirit and an unwavering resolve that no human could fathom. His solitude was not just a consequence of his divine calling. It was a necessary crucible that forged the essence of his spirit. Each day, he felt the divine essence within him grow stronger, a burning ember within his soul that refused to be extinguished by the mundane tribulations of companionship. It was as if the very fabric of the universe conspired to strip away the vestiges of his former life, to cleanse him of the mundane distractions that could not withstand the fires of his divine purpose. In the silence of his solitude, he found clarity. He could hear the divine whispers that only the truly chosen could perceive. They spoke of celestial realms and ancient prophecies of a destiny that intertwined with the very fabric of creation itself. The mission, though daunting, filled his heart with an unearthly purpose that overrode the pain of his isolation. The weight of his mission was a constant companion, a reminder of the divine charge that marked him for a journey that demanded not only spiritual fortitude, but also an unfathomable depth of empathy and understanding. As he journeyed deeper into the forest, the air around him seemed to hum with a celestial resonance, as if the universe itself was singing a hymn of encouragement to the Chosen One. Despite the loneliness that wrapped around him like a shroud, a profound sense of purpose began to rise within his soul. He understood now that the divine solitude was a necessary veil that revealed both the depth of his spiritual awakening and the true nature of his divine calling. It was a solitude not of despair, but a profound clarity, a solitude that stripped away the illusions of the mundane to reveal the sacred truths that lay at the heart of existence. The forest, though a labyrinth of shadows and echoes, had become a sacred space where the Chosen One could commune with the divine presence that enveloped him. Here, in the solitude of the ancient woods, he found a communion that transcended the physical realm, a communion that filled him with an unearthly serenity and a sense of belonging to something far greater than himself. As he walked on, his steps were not just the movements of a weary traveler, but the deliberate steps of a chosen emissary, each stride resonating with the cosmic truths that he was destined to unveil. The forest, once a place of joy and laughter shared with his friends, had evolved into a sacred sanctuary where he could embrace his divine solitude and continue his journey toward the divine communion that awaited him at the heart of his mission. And thus, the Chosen One continued his path, his heart a beacon of the divine purpose that set him apart, and his soul a vessel of the ancient wisdom that would soon find its way to the world, echoing through the ages as a testament to the divine communion he had embraced in his solitude. In the heart of the cosmos, where the whispering winds of time weave the fabric of existence, there existed a young soul, burdened yet blessed with celestial clarity, known as the Chosen One. His journey commenced in a village overshadowed by the silent murmur of the divine, a place where the whispers of the Spirit carried through cobblestone streets and nestled within the folds of ancient trees. This chosen one had not merely been born, he had been forged in the crucible of divine will, his spirit, a vessel for a mission etched in the heavens. As the chosen one grew, the weight of his destiny grew heavier, a constant companion that never ceased to remind him of the path laid before him. His friends, the comrades of his childhood, found no solace in the shifting sands of his purpose. They saw him not as an equal, but as a beacon of something otherworldly, their eyes brimming with an amalgam of awe and envy that turned to abandonment. The chosen one stood apart, a solitary figure, in a world that seemed increasingly to shun his very essence. His mission was one that required more than the ordinary courage. It demanded the very foundation of his being to be laid bare to the cosmic winds. The path was lined with the teachings of the ancients, each stone a testament to the trials faced by those who had walked the way before him. They spoke of the light and the shadows, the duality that formed the very essence of existence. The chosen one's mission was to restore the balance, a quest to mend the fractured soul of mankind, to return the world to the harmony that once reigned. The chosen one's solitude grew deeper and more profound as he delved into the sacred texts, each word a bridge to realms beyond mortal comprehension. He communed with the spirits of the past, those who had once walked the same path, their spectral forms guiding his steps. They were his silent mentors, their wisdom seeping into his very soul, forging a resolve that no earthly bonds could sever. In their celestial council, he found the answers. He sought the divine blueprint for his mission. But the journey was fraught with trials that tested the very core of his spirit. Visions of his mission were not mere figments of divine imagination, but harrowing glimpses into the future, the outcome of his actions woven into the tapestry of time. He witnessed the fall of souls into the abyss, the descent into desolation, and the resurgence of hope blossoming from the scorched earth, all tied to his path. Each vision was a weight upon his heart, an understanding that his journey was not for personal glory, but for the salvation of countless souls. As the chosen one walked through the valleys of desolation, through lands marred by sin and strife, he saw the effects of his missions unfolding upon the world. The faces of the outcasts, the lost and the broken, mirrored the eternal struggle between the divine purpose and the human frailty. In their eyes, he saw the reflection of his own soul, a mirror that told of the burdens he bore, the sacrifices he had to make, and the solitary path he had to tread. Yet in this solitude, the chosen one discovered an unimagined strength. He found a kinship with the divine, a unity with the cosmos that transcended the petty barriers of friendship and familial bonds. In the quiet moments when the cosmos seemed to breathe a silent prayer, he felt the presence of the divine whispering truths into his heart. It was in these moments that he understood the profound loneliness was not a separation from the divine, but rather a profound unity with it, an intimacy that surpassed the confines of human understanding. In the end, the chosen one's mission was clear to be the bridge between the divine and the mortal, to carry the weight of the world upon his shoulders, to guide lost souls back to the light. His friends may have left not out of malice, but out of an inability to comprehend the infinite nature of his mission. Their departure was a part of his path, a divine orchestration that allowed him to focus on his true calling. The chosen one continued his journey, his heart a beacon of hope. In the dark, his spirit unyielding in the face of adversity. He traversed the world, leaving behind trails of inspiration, each step a testament to the divine purpose etched in his soul. His solitude was not a curse, but a profound gift from the cosmos, a testament to the chosen one's path and the divine solitude that surrounded him. Through his solitary journey, the chosen one ultimately found that the cosmos itself was his truest friend, the divine essence, his constant companion. In the depths of his solitude, he found the strength to carry the weight of the world. And in that divine solitude, he discovered the profound truth that his mission was never meant to be shared, but lived out in the sacred silence of his own heart. In a realm where the golden rays of dawn kissed the heavens and whispered secrets to the earth, the chosen one stood alone on the precipice of a mountain, its peak piercing the clouds like a divine sentinel. This solitary figure, marked by the sacred sign of destiny, was enveloped in the warmth of an inner fire that flickered with an eternal flame, illuminating the path of divine purpose that lay before them. Every breath taken seemed to carry the weight of 1,000 lifetimes, each inhalation an ethereal echo of the ages, each exhalation a gentle sigh of the universe in contemplation. From the moment the chosen one had come into their awareness, there had been an ethereal, inexplicable pull towards that which transcended the mundane fabric of existence. They had been touched by the divine breath of God, a breath that whispered through the silence, guiding their steps and illuminating their path. The solitude in which they now stood was not born of abandonment, but of an intimate communion with the infinite, a bond deeper than the soul and broader than the cosmos. As the chosen one gazed upon the valley below, where their friends had once walked beside them, they could almost hear the soft rustle of their garments, the gentle hum of their laughter, blending harmoniously with the melodies of nature. But now, only the whispering winds sang their songs, echoing with memories of companionship now left behind. There was a reason, a sacred reason, that had led to the departure of the chosen one's friends. In the intricate tapestry of divine orchestration, it was not mere chance that had woven this solitude into their destiny. The purpose that coursed through their veins demanded an unwavering focus, a singular intent that could not be diluted by the distractions of earthly attachments. It was not that the friends had left of their own accord. It was the inexorable hand of fate that had gently guided them away to fulfill their own divine roles. Each friend had a path that diverged from the chosen one's paths that were equally vital, equally radiant within the cosmic design. While the chosen one was destined to bear the weight of a universal mission, their friends were ordained to embark on journeys of their own, each mission interwoven with the grand narrative of creation. The divine solitude was not a severance, but a necessary separation, a divine decree that ensured the chosen one could dedicate their heart and soul to the singular task bestowed upon them. This mission was not a mere burden, but a blessing, a calling that echoed with the celestial reverberations of the Creator's will. To be the chosen one was to be entrusted with the sacred duty of bridging the divine and the mortal, of illuminating the spiritual truths that lay shrouded in the shadows of uncertainty. It was a role that demanded profound humility, unwavering courage, and an unyielding spirit. The chosen one understood that their journey was fraught with trials, each trial a crucible designed to refine their spirit and hone their resolve. They stood on the brink of an odyssey that would traverse the vast expanses of time and space, where every step was a testament to the divine purpose that burned within their soul. The loneliness of this quest was a sacred crucible, transforming the essence of their being into something pure, something transcendent. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting a golden glow across the landscape, The chosen one's heart expanded to embrace the enormity of their mission. It was a mission that would see them traverse the realms of the seen and unseen, walk the paths of the just and the unjust, and whisper with the ancient prophets of old. It was a mission that would require them to navigate the labyrinthine corridors of the soul, to uncover the hidden truths that lay buried beneath layers of fear, doubt, and illusion. The chosen one's hands trembled as they raised them to the sky, palms open in reverent supplication. In that moment, they felt the pulse of the universe, the heartbeat of creation resonating within them. They were not alone, for they were connected to the eternal thread of divine presence, an unbroken chain that stretched across the expanse of eternity. They had been given not just a mission, but a sacred covenant with the cosmos itself. With each step they took down the mountainside, the burden of solitude was tempered by the profound peace that came from knowing their path was guided by a divine hand. They were the chosen one, and in their heart burned the fire of the sacred mandate. The friends who had left were not gone. They were part of the grand design, their journeys intertwined with the chosen ones in ways both seen and unseen. As they descended, the valley below transformed into a land of promise, each blade of grass and every stone a testament to the unfolding divine narrative. The chosen one moved forward with a heart full of unwavering faith, ready to embrace the trials that lay ahead. In their solitude, they found a profound connection to the infinite, a communion that transcended the physical and touched the very essence of existence. The journey was long and the path strewn with tribulations, but the chosen one moved with the grace of one who had been touched by the divine. Each step was a hymn of faith, each breath a prayer of devotion. The friends had left, but their presence lingered in the memories that fueled the chosen one's spirit. The solitude was not a curse, but a sacred space, a realm of inner transformation where the true essence of the chosen one could flourish. And so, with the promise of the dawn illuminating their way, the chosen one ventured forth, ready to embrace the eternal call that had forever shaped their destiny. The chosen one watched the horizon where the sun dipped like a crimson orb, tracing a path through the twilight. The wind whispered through the ancient trees, their rustling leaves a testament to the long-standing presence of the divine mission trusted to the solitary figure. The silence around them was not one of emptiness. It was a sacred silence, a space where divine whispers could be heard, where every heartbeat resonated with eternal truth, and where the weight of an unseen burden pressed upon the soul like a heavy cloak. His heart ached, not from the physical solitude, but from the absence of familiar faces, the faces of friends who had once walked beside him, shared laughter, and spoken words of encouragement. But their departure was orchestrated by a divine orchestration that even the chosen one could not entirely comprehend. It was as if God had, with a gentle yet inscrutable hand, bid them leave to allow him to walk his arduous path unencumbered by earthly bonds. They had left their eyes filled with a mixture of fear and faith, knowing they could not follow the path laid out for the chosen one. Their hearts could not bear the intensity of the vision, the magnitude of the purpose that had been bestowed upon him. The friends who had once been his companions now stood on the periphery, mere spectators of the divine unfolding, unable to step into the radiant light that consumed him wholly. The chosen one's mission was not one of mere human endeavor, but a divinely ordained journey that demanded an unparalleled devotion. It was a quest to unveil the hidden truths of existence, to bear witness to the unseen realms of the divine, and to render unto the world a knowledge that would alter the very fabric of human understanding. The weight of such knowledge could not be shared lightly, nor could it be borne by any but the purest of souls, unfettered by the constraints of worldly connections. As he stood there, the Chosen One felt the burden of the divine truth pressing upon him even more heavily. It was a truth so profound that it could not be articulated in mere words, but could only be experienced in the depths of one's spirit. This truth would unveil the layers of human existence, stripping away the illusions and revealing the raw, unfiltered essence of being. It was a truth that held the power to uplift souls to divine heights or to obliterate them in the searing light of its revelation. The shadows lengthened, the twilight deepened, and the wind carried the scent of impending rain. Yet the Chosen One stood steadfast, his mind and spirit fully entrenched in divine contemplation. He was preparing within the silence and solitude that enveloped him for the forthcoming task that would challenge the very depths of his being. This was no mere pilgrimage. It was a sacred sojourn into the core of divine mystery, where every step would bring him closer to the unveiling of ultimate truths. His path was fraught with peril and laden with trials that would test his resolve and spirit to the utmost. He knew that there would be moments when his heart would cry out in despair, when the weight of the divine mission would threaten to crush him under its ineffable weight. Yet it was within these moments of apparent desolation that the Chosen One would find the essence of his strength. A strength that transcended human understanding and that lay firmly rooted in divine grace. He thought of the ancient prophets who had walked the same path before him, their spirits whispering encouragement through the corridors of time. He felt their presence, their silent, unyielding hope. With each step forward, he was not alone. He was joined by the eternal lineage of those who had carried the divine word upon their shoulders. Each one a beacon of hope, a testament to the indomitable human spirit, forged in the crucible of divine purpose. The Chosen One knew that his solitude was a form of blessing, a sacred isolation that allowed him to commune unimpeded with the divine. It was a solitude that enabled him to hear the faintest echo of the divine, a solitude that opened his spirit to revelations beyond the mundane. Each day was a new chapter in the eternal script of his mission, and every night he would retreat into the silence to commune with the divine, to receive further guidance, and to find the strength to carry on. As the first drops of rain began to fall, the Chosen One raised his eyes to the heavens. The sky was now a swirling tapestry of dark blues and purples, a cosmic canvas that reflected the vastness of his mission. He stood there, letting the rain wash over him, feeling the cleansing touch of the divine upon his spirit. He knew that every drop was a blessing, a gentle reminder of the divine presence that never left him, even in his solitude. The Chosen One's journey was one of profound simplicity and immense complexity, a path that intertwined the mundane with the divine, the earthly with the eternal. His mission was to reveal the hidden, to unveil the obscured, to bring forth the light where darkness reigned. It was to be a herald of truths that would transform hearts, to be a beacon of hope for a world often enshrouded in doubt and despair. With each passing moment, the Chosen One felt the divine purpose within him, solidifying, growing in intensity and clarity. He was not a solitary figure in a void. He was a conduit of divine truth, a vessel chosen to carry the light to an awaiting world. In his heart, he carried the dreams and hopes of those who believed in him, who looked to his solitary path for signs of the divine unfolding. And so the Chosen One continued his journey, each step a testament to his unwavering faith, each moment a reverent communion with the divine. The mission was vast, The path arduous, but within the solitude, he found the divine strength to continue to press on, to embody the eternal truth that had been entrusted to him. His heart resonated with the divine, beat to rhythm that synchronized with the eternal cosmos. The chosen one knew what lay ahead, what awaited him at the journey's end. It was a truth so profound that it could change the world, so potent that it could either elevate or destroy. But in his solitude, he remained steadfast, for within the silent depths of his soul, he bore the fire of divine purpose, unwavering, unerring, eternal. In the end, the chosen one would not be merely remembered for his mission's complexity or the solitude that defined his journey, but for the divine truth he unveiled, for the light he brought into the world, and for the hope he ignited in the hearts of those who dared to believe. His was a journey not of separation, but of ultimate union, a journey that led him ever closer to the divine truth that would forever alter the course of human history. In the dim corners of history, where ancient whispers weave through the fabric of time, there lived a soul marked by ethereal luminescence, a soul so deeply embedded in the divine script that it was chosen to carry the weight of the world's eternal hope. This chosen one, draped in celestial robes of unfathomable purity, walked a path fraught with celestial trials, echoing through the annals of eternity. While the heavens themselves seemed to shimmer with divine purpose, a profound solitude enshrouded their journey, a solitude that transcended mere physical isolation. The chosen one's mission resonated with an unearthly resonance, a mission that could neither be fully comprehended nor adequately conveyed in the earthly realm. To protect and shepherd the fragile human spirit through the turbulent waves of existence, the chosen one bore the infinite burden of love and sacrifice, an obligation so profound that it transcended the bonds of mere friendship. The heavens had bound this soul to an eternal covenant. It was to be a beacon of hope, a flame of unwavering light amidst the darkness, a harbinger of divine grace. As the stars themselves trembled and turned pages of ancient tomes, the chosen one's spirit was summoned to realms beyond the mortal understanding, a place where the essence of divine love was both the burden and the beauty. To fulfill their sacred duty, the chosen one had to transcend earthly ties, severing the ephemeral threads of friendship that bound them to the transient human realm. This severance did not spring from the heart's desire for solitude, but rather from an unyielding commitment to the divine mandate, an obligation that demanded the utmost sacrifice. The friends, once close companions who reveled in each other's light, now seemed to drift away like shadows at dawn. They did not understand the chosen one's silence, their absence, their withdrawal into a solitary path that seemed shrouded in divine mystery. To them it appeared as if the chosen one sought seclusion, perhaps even as a form of rejection. Yet, within the vast corridors of the cosmos, the chosen one's departure was a solemn act of divine necessity. They had to become an eternal flame, an unquenchable beacon, untethered to the fleeting joys and sorrows of mortal friendships. In the solitude that enveloped them, the chosen one was not alone. They were cradled by the infinite embrace of divine purpose. This solitude was neither a prison nor a curse, but a sacred space where the chosen one could commune deeper with the divine and harness the celestial energies meant to illuminate the world. The friends, unable to penetrate this ethereal sanctum, felt the inexorable pull of destiny that had silently claimed the chosen one. Though they grieved, they could not fully understand the celestial orchestration that dictated this path. The chosen one's mission was one of perpetual service, an eternal watch over the human soul, a vigil of boundless grace. In this sacred isolation, they were given visions, of humanity's plight, of the eternal struggle between light and darkness, hope and despair. These revelations imbued them with a divine compassion that could not be bounded by the temporal confines of friendship. Their heart ached with the burden of understanding every human sorrow, every soul's yearning, yet they could offer no solace that would divert them from their divine duty. Across the vast tapestry of time, the Chosen One's silent vigil transformed into a universal beacon. They became a symbol of divine constancy, a reminder that in the eternal dance of creation, some are called to shine in solitary brilliance to guide others through the shadows. The friends, in their limited understanding, began to glimpse the magnitude of the Chosen One's task. They saw the serene wisdom in their solitude, the unfaltering grace in their silence. As epochs passed, the Chosen One's radiant presence became intertwined with human history. Legends and tales emerged carrying the whispers of their divine mission. While friends were left to find their solace in each other, the Chosen One continued to be the eternal sentinel, the unseen guardian, whose unwavering heart beat in tune with the cosmos. In this solitude, they transcended the temporal bonds of friendship, standing as a testament to the boundless depths of divine love. Ultimately, the Chosen One's separation from earthly friends was not a dismissal, but a profound act of divine love and sacrifice. It was a beacon that shone brighter than the stars illuminating the path for humanity. And in this solitude, the Chosen One found an eternal communion with the divine, a communion that echoed through the ages, a communion that transcended all human understanding, but resonated deeply within the very soul of existence. Solitude enveloped the Chosen One, a profound and almost preternatural silence that settled upon the landscapes and lingered in the hidden corners of his soul. As he gazed upon the sprawling horizon, the heavens above seemed to whisper secrets only the ancients could decipher, secrets that seemed to pulse with the rhythm of a sacred heartbeat. His friends had left him their footsteps echoing into the annals of history, leaving him in a desolate realm of isolation, where divine truths lay hidden beneath layers of unanswered questions. They had once been inseparable, sharing laughter and tears, dreams and fears, their bonds woven tight as the threads of the Almighty's tapestry. But now,